Good morning. Okay, give us a minute here while we pull it up on our phones.
That was relatively painless today.
All right, we're all checked in. Great. Well, good morning and welcome back to another WCN Live here in the Wilson County News Break Room. My name is Kristen Weaver. I'm Director of Operations.
I'm Brandy Hawkins, Customer Service Representative.
And we have with us
Daniel Vargas, President and Founder of Operation Triage.
Nice to meet you. Nice to have you today.
Great to be here.
Yes, thank you. We look forward to the conversation we're going to have. And before we get started with that conversation, just a few things we need to take care of. First, we'd like to thank our sponsor. That's the Price Way. So that includes Price Chrysler Dodge Ram and Jeep and Richardson Brothers Chevrolet here in Floresville. The two dealerships make up a huge space on 181 that you can find pretty much any kind of make and model that you are looking for. You can shop careers as well, a huge service department to help you out, and of course all the cars that you could need, cars and trucks. So share them, give them some love, and you can find they are linked in the description of this video today. That is the Price Way here in Floresville. And thank you for your sponsorship. Secondly, we have a comment contest, so let me explain that to you. Every video that we do, we invite you to post a comment while we're live. Just say hello, you know, an emoji, anything. Ask a question too. We'd love to have your feedback and we'll incorporate that as we go. But your comment today will put you into the drawing to be a possible winner next week. So this week we are going to draw a winner from our comments made in last week's video.
Oh, put the pressure on me?
Yeah.
Now I don't have my glasses on, so you're going to have to read it.
Okay.
I'll give it to you.
The winner is Kathy Sims.
Well, congratulations, Kathy. It's a good name, someone different to have drawn. Yeah, we've had some great response lately. So Brandy will be reaching out to Kathy on Facebook Messenger, so look for that. And congratulations on winning a C Street gift shop gift bag. So today we are focused, our conversation is all around Operation Triage. So first, let's introduce you again. Tell us who you are, where you're from, and what you do with Operation Triage.
Okay. I'm Daniel Vargas, President and Founder of Operation Triage. I did 20 years in the Air Force, retired in 2007. Been in the nonprofit world since 2004. I actually started when I was on active duty volunteering for nonprofits, and then when I retired, fully got invested in what we do now, veterans issues, veterans and first responders. So we do home repairs, home remodels, emergency financial aid, and advocacy on behalf of veterans and first responders injured in the line of duty.
Okay.
And we're all over Texas and in Missouri right now.
Great.
These are two big states we're in right now.
So, and what is your role in Operation Triage?
Everything. So
You're the founder?
Yeah,
Yes.
founder and president. We got started in 2016.
Okay.
So what happened was I was working for another nonprofit, and that nonprofit only, by their bylaws, only did brand new homes at the time. And so we were getting contacted by a lot of people that had track chairs or wheelchairs and didn't know what to do with them. They wanted to donate them, go to veterans. So on the side, I started Operation Triage, that we could start taking that equipment, refurbishing it, and getting it out to veterans in needs, because not everything is covered by the Veterans Administration.
I see.
For a lot of veterans, and there's emergency needs out there where they need a chair now. They can't wait 6 months for the paperwork to go through the VA to get a chair. So we started doing a lot of that. So that's how Operation Triage actually started. It was a secondary to be able to get people a conduit to get things out to veterans or first responders that were in need.
Nice. And that was in 2016?
Yes, ma'am.
I guess so. Okay, so then explain, so that kind of answers this, but maybe go in more depth, but why Operation Triage is needed. Kind of fill in the gaps. And
There's a big misconception that I think, so you have two sides of the wall, I call it a wall. You have the military side where less than 7% of the United States population have served since the Civil War. They served in the military. And then you have the 73%, I don't know, my math is bad, 93% that has never served. So the big misconception is that when you serve, that everything's taken care of when you get out. The VA handles everything. And for a lot of veterans, and I think a lot of veterans can attest to this, that's when the war really starts. Because trying to get your benefits and trying to get everything that you've earned, that I feel that they've earned, is a war in itself, trying to deal with the bureaucracy and the red tape to get things done. So there's a lot of gaps that veterans fall through, that they can't get services right away, and so a lot of things aren't taken care of. And one of the major things is home repairs, home adaptations. We deal with a lot of elderly veterans that they're on fixed incomes. They have to make a decision of either feeding himself and his wife, or her and her husband. And they have to decide between food and medicine, or do I fix the house, or keep up with the repairs. And it becomes to where it becomes so huge of a repair, or things add up that they just can't do it. So we've actually stepped in to help out with that. But at that time also, the thing that we do is we also find out where they're at with their VA benefits and their advocacy for them, to help them get what they deserve in benefits-wise. Because we've run into a lot of veterans that don't realize that they're eligible for a lot of benefits that are out there through the VA, and so we help them go through I call it the minefield, go through that minefield and get them the help they need to get where they're supposed to be with their benefits.
Wow. What are the kinds of difficulties that veterans can experience without your help, and then what you see kind of happening out there, and why you had to reach out?
Perfect example, last year, 2023, in January 2023, the VA was forced to accept the PACT Act. And what the PACT Act is there was a nonprofit that lobbied Congress with the help of some other organizations that said burn pits from the Gulf War to now was causing a lot of illnesses that the VA would never acknowledge, said, that we don't have enough research to prove that. And Vietnam veterans that were in Thailand, Guam, on certain ships and boats should be eligible for benefits because they were exposed to Agent Orange that never were accepted. So 50 years after Vietnam ended, the Congress finally acknowledged that these veterans should be getting benefits. So 50 years after the war. So getting the word out to those veterans that were in Thailand, that were in Guam, and now you can apply for these benefits and you've earned them. So the Parkinson's you have, there is a reason you have Parkinson's. You were exposed to Agent Orange. So there's known diseases that if you have these known diseases, you're automatically eligible for benefits, no questions asked. And then there's secondary diseases that they're eligible for. So a lot of veterans from 50 years ago didn't know that they were eligible for benefits. They're living on their Social Security and maybe a small pension from the job they had if they're lucky or something. Now they have health care. They have medical equipment that they're accessible to. Money to remodel their bathrooms. So trying to find those veterans and get them the benefits they deserve and the home remodeling that they deserve is what we're trying to do. We find a lot of Vietnam veterans, especially in the rural areas, that don't know. And that's the big thing is we got to understand. Vietnam veterans, I love all veterans, but Vietnam veterans are very warm and dear to my heart because I came in right after Vietnam, and we were just rebuilding as a military, and it wasn't until really the Gulf War that the military was thought of highly again.
Okay.
We had to go through a whole rebuilding process after Vietnam. Our Vietnam veterans came back and they were treated. They were called baby killers. They were called murderers. They were sped on. You couldn't wear a uniform downtown. They were beat up. So when a lot of them came back, they just hid. They just splintered off and hid. They didn't want anything to do with the government. They didn't want anything to do with the VA benefits. So trying to find those that are eligible now for their benefits and saying, hey, our country owes you an apology. Thank you for your service in here. Let's get you what you've earned. They've earned them.
Wow. Well, I feel you. Okay. Some of these questions, as we came up with them, your website was very informative, and I found that very interesting. I think this came from something I saw on there, but how does Operation Triage, what would you say, how do you go beyond just saying thank you for your service?
I think the thing that we do is, and if you ever come out to one of our remodels, like the Hall family, which y'all acknowledged, Fred is a perfect example of a veteran that served in the Gulf War, came back, and just started living his life. He never went to the VA for benefits, never asked for anything. But we all face some kind of catastrophic. All it takes is a catastrophic illness to change your whole life. And he suffered a major stroke. He was out volunteering at an event, suffered a major stroke, and all of a sudden his life changed. And the home was not adaptable for him to come home. He couldn't take a shower there. He couldn't get his wheelchair around. And so when we were approached, it was just to do a bathroom remodel. When we went in and saw the whole home, we decided that, okay, he needs a shower. That's immediate. But they were in the middle of renovating the home themselves. that I put, what we try to do is we try to put ourselves in the position of the veteran that we're dealing with. And so if I was Fred and I came home and I saw that I have to sit there and look around like, well, now I can't finish remodel, the things that does to you mentally.
Right.
You know, so we wanted to give him a fresh start. So we went in and decided to remodel the whole home. And it became a major undertaking because when you deal with older homes and you start ripping the walls open, you can see what's on the outside, but then, it becomes plumbing issues, electrical issues. So we redid everything.
Wow.
Everything for him. And, it's not just, the one place where I feel that we should all be comfortable is your own house. You should have full access of your own house and be able to enjoy your home. And so that's what we wanted when he came home. And for Jerry not to worry about,
Right.
can I get him in the shower? Can he get to the toilet? Can he get into the kitchen? Can he sit in a recliner and enjoy watching TV? And can, she's elderly too. Can I help him get out of the chair? Because, she's having to be the caregiver. Her whole life changed now. So just trying to make the whole aspect easier for them was our goal. And I think that's what we actually bring to the table is that we're always going to leave the families better than we found them. We can't help everybody, and our program is not for everybody, but those that we help, we always leave them better than we found them.
That's incredible. So, well, speaking of, there are several names in the news that we're familiar. I guess some of these names that we've actually written about, and they happened in just last year. You started the year helping a veteran, Carl Johnson of Livonia.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that a little bit.
So Carl was one of those that, his motorized scooter broke down. It was going to take almost 6 months for the VA to replace it. So, he would have been stuck at home, not being able to do things, not being able to go to his appointments. Once again, what it does, not just physically, but mentally to somebody. So we worked with a rehab company and rented him a scooter for that time. Right. So it's just, it doesn't have to always be a big thing. Right. It could be a small thing. Recently we just, just last week, we were able to get 2 good used vehicles, purchased them, and gave them to 2 veterans that needed vehicles to get to their appointments. Their vehicle broke down, or one was in a car accident, and the insurance money they got wasn't a lot. So we were able to get them 2 vehicles to get them back to their appointments. Just trying to keep them where they can still have that freedom to take care of themselves is a huge mental factor. So we're not just dealing with the physical, but the mental aspect of and why that's so important is the VA says between 17 to 20 veterans a day commit suicide, but those are the veterans that are tracked to the VA system. It's actually more than that. 17 to 20% of veterans commit suicide a day. 17 to 20 commit suicide a day. On top of that, 65% of those are the veterans over the age of 50. So 65% of those are elderly veterans because they get to the point where they feel they're a burden on their family and that their family is better off without them. And so what we're trying to do is in our own little way is, we can't save them all, but I always refer back to the starfish story, the little boy on the beach. I can't save them all, but I can save this one. That's what we're trying to do.
Amazing. And then, of course, the second name that we're familiar with, we've written about last week's paper. You saw the headline on the front page was the story of Fred Hall, which you've already touched on a little bit.
But we've helped a lot in your community. The Stouts was a good one. Dennis and his wife. He was a Vietnam veteran. He suffered a stroke. They lived in a mobile home that needed to be condemned. We got him a new mobile home for Christmas. But in meeting them, he was a Vietnam veteran. Turned down numerous times for benefits. He tried to get his benefits, turned down numerous times. Once we saw his records, we realized he was a Purple Heart recipient. And within 5 months, he went from 0% of getting nothing to 100%. So economically, what that did was change their whole life. They were getting stuff from the church pantry, food, and now they donate to the church pantry.
Wow.
So just, things like that, it's just, the biggest thing I try to tell everybody is, these are your neighbors. These are the people living next door to you. Find out what's going on. If you meet a veteran, tell them thank you for your service is great, but really ask them, how are you doing? How's it going?
True.
Go a little deeper.
Go further than just saying thank you. That's a good point. Excellent point to make. Again, we are talking, in case you're just joining us right now, we're talking with Daniel Vargas with Operation Triage and the support that his organization's been able to give even to our community. I know it goes beyond our community. Touch on that a little bit.
Yeah, we do. So Right now, we're real heavily congested in Central Texas. I mean,
Okay.
Bexar County alone has over 100,000
Right.
retired disabled veterans and elderly veterans. So we're in Bexar County, we're in Comal County, Hayes County, here in Wilson County. We've gone all the way down to Brownsville, all the way up to Amarillo to help veterans in the state. We're trying to do as much as we can. We can't, unfortunately, we can't help everybody. And the one thing I always tell the veterans that reach out to us, you got to help us help you. You got to be part of the solution and part of helping us getting you on the right track to recovery.
Right.
And so if they're willing to do that, we can do a lot together. But especially with the VA, because we can help you get on the right track and get you your benefits, but you have to make those appointments. You have to,
Okay.
follow through. Answer the call when it comes to dealing with the VA. We can help you, but you're going to have to do it. So we hold our veterans accountable. I guess the best way to say it, that we can do it together, but you're going to have to be part of. I always tell them, be the hero of your own story. We're going to make you the hero of your own story, and we're going to get you where you need to be.
Sweet. Well, then, speaking in terms of your team, I mean, how do you do what you do? I know it takes a team. What makes your team unique?
Well, number one, we have no paid employees.
Okay.
We're 100% volunteer. So 100% of everything we raise goes straight to our programs and goes straight to our small administrative costs. So our website's on GoDaddy. So we pay GoDaddy every year, and we do our own website. We have PayPal, we have Venmo for donation sites, and our motto, if it's free, it's for us, kind of in a way. But our biggest supporters have been major sponsors, and major sponsors here out of the community. John Wayne Service Company is one of our biggest supporters, and I can't say enough about them. They're neighbors here of y'all. I know Don gets mad at me for when I mention them, but that family goes above and beyond when it comes to taking care of veterans and first responders, and they've been side by side with us. They were involved in the Hall family house. They've been involved in the Stout family. They've answered the call when it comes to helping people. Murray Service Company is another one.
Fantastic.
And that's what we need is we can get more companies that can afford to do, and you don't have to do a lot, just a little. If we all did a little together.
Yeah.
We can do a lot together. That's what I try to tell them. It can be a little bit. I forgot the name of the stone company that donated the countertops that helped us out with the Hall family. If we all just got together, and I call it like a 21st century barn raising. If we all got together and came over to a neighbor's house and helped redo that house, we can change their lives.
Right.
And the beautiful thing is you're improving your community. These are productive members of your community.
Yeah.
That like Jerry and Fred. They're volunteers. They volunteer everywhere. They give so much back to this community that why not give back to them?
That's very true. Very true. I don't know that you touched on this very much, but I don't know if you want to go ahead and spell this out a little bit further than veterans. You mentioned first responders.
Yes.
So it goes beyond veterans, or you include first responders and
yes,
in
we
this
help.
effort?
We try to help first responders that have been injured in the line of duty, and it's the same thing we do for them: home repairs, home remodels. Regardless of how you feel about, I won't get into the political side of defunding the police, but these are people. And our motto is: these are people that stand on the wall every night to say, "You're going to sleep under the blanket of freedom, and we're going to help provide that." And these are people that are willing to put their lives on the line, fighting fires, rushing to your house in an ambulance to provide medical services, and police officers are willing to defend us.
Yeah.
So they deserve somebody to be there for them, and that's what we're trying to do. So we haven't had many first responders as of late, which kind of is a good thing. I look at them that the need's not as great, but we are there for them if they need it.
That's good, and I think that's important to mention, and also be aware of that your efforts and how far they reach.
And they deal with and you can look on our website. They deal with a high suicide rate as well. They deal with a lot of trauma, and we expect them just to deal with it and go by their day. And the things they see is horrific. So if there's something we can do for them, we're there for them.
Absolutely. Well, circling back to the team, can others join the team and be part of Operation Triage?
Yes, we're always looking for volunteers. It just we have to find out what the niche is and what you can help with, and what's available. We definitely need help with fundraising. So if anybody wants to put a fundraiser on, we're not going to take control of it. We'll let you run it, and this could be as small as a bake sale to as elaborate as you want it. But that's where we need help right now, is a lot of funding. It takes unfortunately, we can get a lot of product donated, But asking somebody to work for free on a house is
It's hard.
it's hard because of the economy. So we can get the materials done, but we need the labor.
I see.
So that money goes straight to labor. It goes straight to paying the the young men and women who are doing the construction work,
Right.
the plumbers, the electricians, that part. So
Okay.
that's where we would need a lot of help at right now.
Okay. And something that keeps coming to mind too, do you also need the help in identifying where help is needed in the communities? Like, how do y'all go about finding the veterans?
Unfortunately, that's not an issue.
It is not an issue.
That's not an issue. So
Yeah.
we deal with great organizations like Camino Real, who deals with veterans here in the area. We deal with, I call the boots on the ground with the VA. So there's a lot of social workers and home
And
health
they
care
know.
nurses that know about our program.
Okay.
They're approaching us now and saying, hey, you help so and so, or I know this nurse, I know this social worker, and by word of mouth, veterans by word of mouth and veteran groups.
Right.
So
Okay.
right now we started off the year, I thought it was going to be slow, we're going to be able to
Yeah.
breathe a little bit. This year's already started off where yesterday I was out and I did 4 home assessments just in San Antonio.
Wow.
So we have some others that we're doing out here. So the need, unfortunately, is great out
That's
there,
great.
especially with the economy right now. And these are families that are a lot on fixed incomes. They're low-income
Yeah.
families. You don't join the military to get rich, unfortunately.
Yeah.
If you did, more people would join. But they're low-income families that they're dealing with health issues now because the older we get, that's when it really starts to affect you, and they need help. And the one thing about us, we're not extreme makeover. We're not going in and building a 3,000 square foot home with a swimming pool and all that. We're giving them what they need.
Right.
There's needs and wants. If it's a want, we're not the organization for you.
Okay.
If it's a genuine need and you need something to better your life,
Yeah.
we'll be the one that can help you out. But we built a home in San Antonio, and it was for a Vietnam veteran. We had to condemn his house and tear it down. It was 900 square feet. We built a 1,000 square foot home right on the same area that it was. We only added an extra 100 feet, and that's because we did a mechanical room for him to put all the mechanicals in for AC, plumbing, and things like that. There was easy access for when we go out there and service it.
Right.
But we're going to fill those needs for you. If you want a hot tub, that's not us. We do bathroom remodel, a lot of bathroom remodels because they need a roll-in shower. They can't get in the tub. We have no problem with doing those things. So.
Wow. It's good to know. And you touched on this a little. Do you need to go a little? Let's talk again about like the partnerships that you have with, like you had mentioned, some of those that help you to find where the needs are. Anyone else, like you mentioned, some of the sponsors. Are there any other partners and
Well, John Wayne
organizations?
Service Company, Murray Service Company out of Bernie has been wonderful for plumbing. I mean, he's driven all over Central Texas for us. We've asked him for a lot, and he's always been there for him and his wife. The Rackler family. SRS Distributing has provided roofing materials. They're ones that, half of a roofing cost is just the materials alone. So they've been wonderful to work with for roofing materials. It's just there's just such a need that locally it was McCoy's Lumber gave us a gift card that helped with the Halls family. So it could be something like that. Hey, and it could be if you own a stone company for countertops, it could be countertops that somebody custom ordered and you can't use. They didn't want them.
Okay.
You can donate them to us. You can write it off. If you have leftover lumber, countertops, cabinets, things like that you have an overstock.
Right.
You can donate to. Shaw Flooring is a great example. Shaw Flooring has, they have a contract with Lowe's. Last year's models of flooring, Lowe's doesn't carry anymore, so they send them back to them.
Oh, okay.
They're sitting on them. So we call them up, and for the Hall home, they donate flooring for the whole house.
Wow.
So those kind of things help out a lot because, once again, if we can save on the products,
Right.
we just have to focus on raising the money for the labor.
Right.
So it cuts down in half.
Okay. Good. Well, then my next question is, and maybe you want to talk a little more about this or re-emphasize, explain how monetary donations can be made to Operation Triage.
We're real simple. So if you go to operationtriage.org, we have Venmo set up, we have PayPal. You can mail in a donation. If you call us, we'll come and pick it up. There's so many opportunities that we can do. If you have products, we can work it out that we can come pick up the products and store it. We're working with Allen Wrench and Renovations have been so gracious that they gave us room at their location. They're one of the biggest remodels we work with. He's a Marine veteran, and it's a veteran-run company that they're storing a lot of extra supplies for us right now because they go in and are doing a lot of the remodeling for us. So there's opportunities that we can work together to get a donation.
And I was particularly interested in this round up your change at Walmart. It's something everybody could do, right?
Yes, so if you go to Walmart online, they have a program where if you purchase anything online, you can round it up and they'll donate it to us directly. And that's something new that we started. I know some people don't like the big chain stores, but it's something that Walmart has an initiative to help out nonprofits. So if you shop online, please do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Brandy, is there anything that we need to bring up from our comments? Or
Lots of good mornings. Sherry Manti said thank you for your service.
Thank you.
And then you answered the question, but oh goodness, I lost it. Michael Atkins said he's also a disabled veteran but can help. How can he help?
If you go to our website and go online and the contact us email, if you do that, we'll get with you right away. Yeah,
Great.
and there's great opportunity. You know, a lot of the opportunities for volunteers is, and we're dealing with elderly veterans, is they collect too much stuff and they can't get rid of it, or they can't do the big spring cleaning at their house. And a lot of times we're just going out there to clean up.
Right.
So there's plenty of opportunities to help do a cleanup service, or go trim some trees. If you know a tree trimmer, they need the trees trimmed or the grass mowed. There's great opportunities to volunteer.
Great.
So it doesn't have to be anything huge.
Great. And it looks like the website has been shared in our comments as well, but the website is operationtriage.com.
.org.
.org.
Yeah.
My
No, it's
apologies.
okay.
Incorrectly the first
It's okay.
time.
Well, I just said it wrong. Here I'm looking right at
.org.
it.
Yeah.
Great. Well, then that kind of is leading to the end of our conversation. Is there anything else that you may have left out or you want to say, just kind of in closing?
Well, I want to thank y'all for this opportunity, because this is the best opportunity for us to get known in the communities.
Right.
Because a lot of people don't know about us. We're not the biggest organization. We're small.
Right.
We're not the richest organization. I wish I could win the lottery and help, more than what we're doing.
Right.
But every little bit helps, and we're helping one family at a time. And once again, like I said, if you run into a veteran, besides just saying thank you for your service, ask them, how are they doing? That one ask and a smile might change their life.
Yeah.
And it could be something as small as that. It might not have to be a house remodel or so forth, but just say, how are you doing? And you'd be surprised at how many people you can touch that way.
That's amazing. I think that's very good advice that you give to everybody. Well, we thank you for being here, and I guess let's share that again, where you can go to learn more information about Operation Triage. Their website is operationtriage.org, and on Facebook, it's Operation Triage 2016.
Yes.
Is what I had noted here.
And we're on Instagram, we're on LinkedIn, we're on Twitter, we're on everything. It drives me crazy because I hate social media, but you got to do what you got to do.
Some connections there. That's good. And we look forward to putting more positive news in the Wilson County News to share about ways that Operation Triage is helping the area, and more ways that we can help veterans, and just get the word out what the resources are, because I think that we are trying to grow as a community toward being more helpful and providing those resources. So we thank you for being here.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all so much for this opportunity.
Wonderful conversation, and great to learn what it's like and what all that you do. I think it's been fascinating and just a really good lesson to everyone that we can all take home with us. Thank you all for joining us today. We really enjoyed this conversation. Thank you for being here and putting your comments, and we look forward to seeing you again next Wednesday when we'll be on for another WCN Live. So thank you for joining us. See you next time. Oh, I'm not finished, but thank you. I am not going to close this without thanking our sponsor, the Price Way. You can, Price Way includes the Price Chrysler Dodge Ram and Jeep dealership, as well as the Richardson Brothers Chevrolet dealership. They're located in Floresville here. There are two huge dealerships on 181 where you can shop cars, careers, and service department. Thank you, Price, so much for your sponsorship. The Price Way, look them up and reach out if you're in need of a car or any of those things. So thank you for your sponsorship. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you next week.